years ago, I visited a friend and spent an entire day with her. When it was time for me to return, I said to her, "We hardly spent any time together, right?" And she responded by saying, "What rubbish, we spent the entire day together." Technically, she was right, we did spend the entire day together, but I somehow didn't feel that. And a few years later, I get introduced to this book and discover that my love language is quality time. The fifth love language is quality time. So, what's really meant by quality time? Let's figure out. Quality time means giving someone your undivided attention, which is being fully attentive to the other without any distractions. So, in that time frame, you attend only to that person, leaving everything else aside, the TV, mobile, newspaper, absolutely everything. This time could include talking to each other, taking a walk together, or engaging in doing something together. The central aspect of quality time is togetherness and focused attention. Just by being in close proximity to each other under the same roof in the same room doesn't mean you are spending quality time. Let's say a person is doing something like watching a sport, scrolling the phone, reading the newspaper, cooking a meal while talking to this other person. That isn't considered quality time because your attention is divided between what you're doing and talking to that person. Just like I had spent the entire day at my friend's house. We did spend the entire day under that same roof, but she was engaged in something or the other while talking. We probably didn't manage sitting and having fully focused time together or have any emotional conversations. Which brings me to the fact that quality time as a love language has many dialects too, one of which is quality conversations. This means two individuals sharing their experiences, thoughts, feelings, and desires in a friendly, uninterrupted manner. If your partner complains to you that you do not talk, they literally don't mean that you never say a word. They mean you seldom take part in emotional level talk, like listening keenly, asking questions to genuinely understand your thoughts, emotions, and desires. So basically, participating in a conversation. One important aspect of quality conversation is listening. Most of us have little or no training in listening. We might know to effectively think and speak, or speak without thinking, but listening empathetically could be tough. Learning to listen might be as difficult as learning a foreign language, says Gary. However, if your partner's love language is quality time, with the dialect of quality conversation, then listening is an art you'll have to learn in order for you to be able to communicate love. Another important aspect of quality conversation is learning to talk. Quality conversation not only requires listening, but also self revelation. Self revelation doesn't come easy to some. This could be because of their past experiences. Maybe when they expressed their thoughts and feelings, they weren't encouraged or had bitter consequences to it. So they learned to deny their feelings. All of you who find it difficult to express yourselves, you will have to begin with getting in touch with your feelings and becoming aware of your emotions first. You might have denied it for a huge part of your life, but if you need to learn the language of quality conversation for the betterment of your relationship, here is a little exercise suggested by Gary Chapman that you can try doing. Step number one is question yourself about the emotions and feelings you felt during the day. Step two is write the event and the corresponding feeling down. For example, is event would be woke up, feeling would be happy. Event would be work colleague, feeling could be angry. Event could be train journey, feeling could be frustrating. By writing down the event and the feeling in one or two words, you'll start to become a little more aware of the feelings you felt during the day. You can then slowly start communicating these to your partner. As you keep doing this exercise and start expanding on it, you will now find it easier to become aware of your emotions and communicate them. It is our thoughts, emotions, and desires that lead to actions and decisions. Therefore, communication of this entire process is called self revelation, which will lead to you having quality conversations. Another dialect of quality time is quality activities, which may include anything in which one or both of you might have interest. The purpose is to do something together and have the willingness to do these activities together with a positive attitude, making the other person feel cared for. The essential ingredients of a quality activity would be at least one of you should be interested in and want to do this activity. The other should be willing to do it. Both of you know why you're doing it, and that is to express love by being together. And what's the benefit to the partner who might not enjoy that activity so much? It's the pleasure of being with a happy partner who can see that you've learned their love language fluently. The context used in this book and therefore the video is associated to marriage and intimate relationships. However, the concept of love languages is not restricted to or limited to marriage or romantically intimate relationships. For example, let's say I know that my love language is quality time. So I will feel loved when my partner gives me quality time, but I'll also feel loved when my other close relationships, for example, my mom gives me quality time, or my friend or any other person who's close to me gives me quality time. This would apply to all the other love languages too, be it words of affirmation, acts of service, gifting. And you'd say, what about physical touch? Again, physical touch does not only refer to intimate romantic touch or intercourse. We see people around us who'd use physical touch in general interactions, right? People who love to give a handshake, who love to come and give you a hug, who like to keep their hands on your shoulders. These are also gestures that comprise the love language physical touch. Now that you know a little more about love language, you can go and figure out what your love language is and communicate it to the people in your life so that they can love you through your love language. And if you figure out the love language of your close people, you can communicate love to them in the way they want to be loved. This is an interesting and a helpful concept for people who are getting into new relationships or are at their initial stages of relationships. And for those of us who are into relationships for a long time already, it's never too late. Of course, it isn't easy, but all that we can do is try. As I said earlier, I've referred to this book completely for all the content of this video. This book is an easy read if you'd like to read it yourself. Also, if you want to figure out what your love language is, then you can go to their website www.5lovelanguages.com. Wishing you all a lot of love.